Open your ears and lube up your butthole. It's time for the What Do We Call It podcast. Now, here's your host. It's Jmann. Welcome to the What Do We Call It podcast. I'm Jmann.
And I'm number one fan, Tim.
How on the ball would you say your kids are in terms of noticing things when they go missing or if you've changed a room around or something? I don't mean like you've drastically flipped the furniture 180 degrees to different walls, but I mean, how much do they pick up on shit?
Not very well. I've gone in their room and taken things. I actually rifled through Pubert's Halloween candy, and I didn't even put it back the way it was, like I normally do, because Drama seems to be onto that. And he never suspected a thing. And I must have took like 3 candy bars.
Is that all?
Yeah, I'm trying to lose weight.
Well, so am I.
I'm not drinking pop. I'm not eating as much candy. I don't buy donuts anymore.
Well, candy was where I was going with this. Obviously.
Okay. Yeah.
It's November 10th today. Halloween was a week and a half ago. Mm-hmm. So obviously we took the kids out, and we were shocked that when we went to my mother-in-law's neighborhood, just how many fucking kids were out and how many people were handing out candy with all the COVID stuff. Because my mom called and said, we're not giving out candy, the neighbors across the street aren't, and I don't think anybody in our cul-de-sac is, or the next street over that we've talked to. They thought it was going to be pretty empty.
I was expecting it to be pretty empty, and I have no idea because I wasn't even home.
So each of the kids had a bucket. Obviously, at a certain point, the bucket got full, so we emptied it into like a Target bag or something for each of them and then let them keep going. So they all ended up with a shit ton.
Were people just handing out massive handfuls?
Yes, because they didn't think they were going to get hit with that many kids. And it's basically like, congratulations on actually coming out and treating it like it's a regular Halloween.
That'd be a lot like when I trick-or-treated during the blizzard.
Yeah.
I got so much fucking candy that night. And I even had a really good costume on.
Well, it's funny because some people put like a few pieces into Ziploc bags and then put them in bowls and then sat there next to the table or a foot away and said, just take one bag. Some people left a bowl, like, please take one. Some people were just like giving out handfuls, shit like that.
I heard some people took like a 5 or 6 foot long tube and they would slide the candy down the tube.
Yeah, like from the house, basically like a gutter for the candy.
Which ain't a bad idea, actually, if you're that worried about it. But, I mean, if you have COVID and you're handing out candy...
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Well, here's the thing about it. This is the nicest, weather-wise, Halloween we have had as long as I can remember with the juice trick-or-treating. Every other year...
It was fucking windy.
It was windy, but what was the temperature? In the fucking 50s that day.
I was up in Princeton, so it was cold up there, and we had snow.
No snow here. The previous few years, it's either been ungodly cold or snowing or raining. Like freezing rain almost.
Rain. I remember like 7-8 years ago it rained on Halloween. But it was a really light rain. Otherwise, I just remember it being cold. Colder than normal, too. I don't remember it being that cold when I was a kid.
Well, the thing is that kids in the Midwest, where we have seasons... Unlike, say, San Diego, where it's fucking nice every day.
I wouldn't say it's nice.
Or Florida. States that don't have winter.
You gotta really like heat for that to be nice.
We get gypped in the Midwest. Because by the time Halloween rolls around, it's getting to be snow weather. It's cold as fuck. You have to buy your costumes a size or two bigger to fit a coat underneath it. Or some people just put the coat over it, and then it's like, what's the point of the fucking costume?
Well, I mean, look at the costumes the kids are wearing nowadays. It's basically a fucking... see-through jumpsuit, It's like, look, I'm Buzz Lightyear. No, you're wearing pajamas.
Yeah, pretty much. But anyways, my 3-year-old, my wife counted the candy for each kid. My 3-year-old had got over 200 pieces of candy.
Jesus.
So they each had a bag, right? Mm-hmm. So the juice and Chi-Chi, and then my stepdaughter and my 3-year-old, and then Junior had a bucket too. People were just kind of giving him a few pieces.
Yeah, why not?
And I was sitting in the car driving him, a few houses at a time because I had him in the car with me because it was windy as fuck. And I was eating the whole time they were trick-or-treating. I just kept fucking just eating. But when we got home...
How much of that 200 did your daughter actually get?
Yeah. So when we got home and the wife counted it and they put it into bags, they each had a different bag. One was Walmart, one was Cub, one was Target, so we know whose was whose. Now, I wasn't going to steal from my stepdaughter. She's got enough reasons to be angry at me all the time. She's on the verge of getting her period, and we butt heads like fucking crazy. So my two, I said, here's the deal. The candy goes in the bag. The bag stays in the kitchen. You are allowed 1 or 2 pieces at lunch every day and 1 or 2 pieces at dinner every day. We are going to make this last. Seems like a good plan, right? So they don't overeat.
Yeah, that's what I tried telling my kids.
Yeah, and as soon as they went to bed, I ate the shit out of that candy.
Pubert ate his entire Halloween stash within a day.
What?
He must have had over 100 candy bars. He had a pillowcase that was about a third full, and he ate it all.
Dude, what the fuck?
Yeah, I told him you're going to give yourself diabetes.
Yeah.
I chastised him for it. And I told him he couldn't go trick-or-treating the following year. I said, if you're going to be that stupid, I'm not letting you have any.
Well, first off, he's how old?
Well, now he's 17, but when he did that, he was like 14.
Fucking A.
I think the most when I ate when I got done Halloween trick-or-treating at any age was maybe 20.
You got to clamp down on that shit or they're going to go nuts. And they're not going to sleep because of the sugar rush.
He slept like a rock, if I recall correctly. He doesn't have any trouble sleeping.
His went into a fucking sugar coma.
His metabolism, his body is so freaking high. I cannot believe how this kid eats.
Well, might have a tapeworm. So here's the thing. I ate a bunch of candy that first night, and then the next morning, they didn't notice. And then I kept doing it for like 3 or 4 days. And then one day, Chi-Chi, she's 7, she looks in the garbage at breakfast and goes, wow, somebody ate a lot of candy. At no time does she fucking look at me or accuse me of anything. And they do not notice that all their fucking Reese's Ghosts and Reese's Pumpkins and most of the Reese's that aren't the actual big regular cups are gone.
Now I want candy. Fuck.
I systematically fucking ate the shit out of the Reese's and then the Kit Kats. And I made sure, because there's a rule in this house, every Almond Joy you get is Dad's.
You like Almond Joy?
I fucking love Almond Joys. I love coconut.
That's crazy.
But they give.
I like it on those brown sugary donuts that you get. You know, you get the chocolate, the white, or the brown. I love those. Haven't had one in like 6 months, but
I'm trying to think of what I moved on to. Then I started with some of the Twix and the Crunch bars, and then I ate some Milky Ways and some Snickers. Pepper in a few random fucking Three Musketeers in there. I have like a pecking order of candy preference, right? I was saving the Snickers for last.
I'm kind of the same way.
And so some of them got like full-size candy bars. They each got like 2 full-size Hershey bars. The Juice says Hershey bars are her favorite. I didn't fuck with the Hershey bars. But with Chi-Chi, I ate all her Hershey bars.
You didn't let them trade with each other?
Nah, fuck that shit.
I'll give you a full-size Hershey bar for like 2 Snickers.
Yeah, so there was one day a couple days ago where the Juice was like, are you eating my candy? I'm like, no. And that was the end of it. I'm like, are you fucking serious? I had my back turned and you were behind me and you heard the wrapper. How fucking tuned out from reality are you? And then the next morning, Chi-Chi goes, what happened to my full-size Kit Kat? And I just looked at her. I'm like, I ate it. It was fucking delicious. She's like, you did? What, Dad? Why? I'm like, you had too much. I wanted some.
I thought it was funny because Turtle grabbed a regular size Kit Kat bar and she takes the wrapper off and she just bites into it like a sandwich. And Drama looks at her and is like, what are you doing?
Oh, because she didn't break it?
She didn't break it off. She's just like, that, you're not supposed to do that. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of against the law. You're supposed to snap at least 1 off. You can go as far as 2.
Nah, fuck that shit. You just eat it like a goddamn sandwich.
Oh, we were giving her so much shit for it. And then that was just great.
So now it begs the question, how much other shit can I get away with that they won't notice?
I've taken money from my kids.
Oh, that's a bad thing to put on tape.
I pay them for doing their chores and stuff, and then they leave it on the kitchen table, and I walk by like, ooh, money, and I take it.
And they don't ever notice?
They never. One time, Bubba came at me, just like, where's that $5 I had? I was like, what $5? Like, I let it right here on the table. And I felt like being nice at that point because he wasn't upset. He was just like, where's my money?
Oh,
so
bitch.
I held it up. I said, leave it on the table again. You won't get it back. And since then, he didn't leave his money up. But Drama and Turtle and well, not even so much puberty anymore. He kind of figured that. Now he's got a job and he realizes when you get money, you got to work for it. You fucking keep it. So it's been a while since I've had to take money.
One piece of subtext on the candy thieving. I try to teach them that stealing is wrong, but then I'm like totally fucking doing it behind their back.
We have a solution for that at my house. It's called a dad tax.
Yeah, I pretty much say the same shit, but I just didn't do it in front of their faces to see if I could get away with it.
I'll tell them in front of their face and say, give me 2 Snickers right now. Why? Dad tax.
Yeah. Well, see, here's a PS on that. Those days that I took my morning poop, I'm pretty regular in the morning, usually between 9:30 and 10:30.
That's pretty fucking regular.
I drop a deuce. Those shits, those Halloween candy shits, were some of the creamiest shits I've taken in quite some time.
I don't want to hear that.
Why not?
I don't know. It's just weird. Well, that's what you get for the fucking Reese's peanut butter.
I didn't have diarrhea, though.
Well, I know what you mean. It's not diarrhea, but it's just like, it just feels like it just kind of slides out.
You know, in elementary school, when they would have hot lunch and it would be like mashed potatoes with hamburger gravy,
yeah.
It came out with somewhat of a similar consistency. It felt like it was coming out in a lot of solid chunks, and then I looked at it, and it just looked like a pile of molasses half hovering on the water, like it hadn't sunk in yet, because the water couldn't permeate the molecules of my feces.
I took a shit the other day that, like, it's like, God, that's going on for a long time. And when I got done, before I flushed, I just looked in the toilet, and it had to have been, this fucking long. And at the end, it, like, tapered to a point at the end, like a fucking spear or a pencil or something.
Well, that's what you want your asshole to do, is have some tensility, so that as you're getting to the end of the poop, your butthole starts to close, and then it makes it get smaller. That's why.
Like, but no, I mean, like, how quickly? Like, it was like that. It went like.
It varies by the force with which you push it out and the speed with which it exits your rectum. But there was a kid that went to prison for robbing a Dairy Queen and 2 banks when I was in high school. And the first joke somebody made when they heard he got caught was, well, his shit's not going to taper anymore. Because you're going to be crapping pancakes. It's just going to fall out of you because your asshole is going to be ruined. So then, to the point of what else can I get away with? My stepdaughter will not part with anything. We're talking anything. I have to fucking fight with her to throw away old pieces of paper. It's like she's got some weird hoarder's mentality. And she's got clothes that she doesn't want to get rid of, and they don't fit her very well or they have holes. So my wife and I, mostly my wife, I kind of am the lookout. She will sneak these away once they get washed, and like the stepdaughter is like, hey, where's that? But one day she's looking in the fire pit and she sees a hunk of fabric, and she's like, that looks like my pants that Mom said I had to get rid of. I'm like, oh yeah, Mom said I had to throw those away. So I just burned them because fabric doesn't really disintegrate at the dump. So yeah, she's like, I like those. I'm like, for God's sakes, they're a fucking size 5 waist and you're 10 goddamn years old. All your shorts are like up to your ass cheeks. I tease you constantly. You're going to fart too hard and blow a stitch out. But other stuff, like when the Juice and Chi-Chi go back to the Beast's house, or when they used to go back to the Beast's house before all the CPS nonsense and the back and forth, when they're gone, I go through their room and I'll find like drawings, just stupid crap. And if it's paper, I don't recycle paper. I burn paper. So I've taken tons of their little art project shit that they just doodle for fun right in the fucking fire pit.
I get mad because the kids like to do that shit in my notebooks that I buy for my stuff, like my gaming and everything like that, and it's just like, I just throw it out.
What about leftovers? And this is fair game for even if your wife brings home food. If she brings home leftovers and you want some, do you sneak a bite or two?
No, I just ask her.
Why?
Because I was like, can I have a bite of that? Or can I have that? And sometimes she says yes, sometimes she says no. And
that's not fun. You're not getting away with anything. Danger is sexy, and I want to see if I can get away with it without getting noticed. And then once it gets to be an extra day old, I'm like, are you going to eat that? And then she gives it to me. But I've already sampled it. That's how I know I'm going to like it so much.
No, that's not how I do it at my house. No.
Oh, my God, the Beast.
The kids like to eat my leftovers.
Yeah.
My mom and dad came over last Saturday before last, one after Halloween. And my mom left me 2 pumpkin bars.
Yeah.
It's homemade with the really good frosting. What is that? I can't remember the name of the
kind of
frosting is.
like it's like buttercream.
Yeah, buttercream frosting.
Okay,
all homemade, made from
God,
scratch.
we sound like two fat fucks tonight.
I know. And she left me 2 pieces, and I ate one before they left. And the second one, I just left it in the Tupperware container, and I set it in the counter. And I was like, okay, I don't think anyone's gonna really mess with this. Sure enough, I get home the next day, ran some errands, and it's fucking gone. And Mrs. Number One's like, well, did you eat it? And I was like, no. And she's like, well, I'll give you one guess who actually did it. And I says, I should have just put a note on there. This is Dad's. They ate it.
Fuckers. So, back when
The Beast
lived here, there was a time where she went to Osaka. It's not cheap. So she brings home leftovers. And I ate a couple pieces. Well, she fucking noticed. She must have counted how much fucking meat was in there. Because I ate like 3 bites of chicken and 2 bites of the steak. Little cubes of meat. And she flipped the fuck out. She's like, you just ate like $6 worth of fucking Osaka, you asshole. And then the next time she gets it, she writes over it. She writes her name on it. And then my name, do not eat. And then she's felt the need to do that every time she brought home leftovers, just to taunt me.
Did you ever listen?
No, it just made me want to eat it more.
But even though she wasn't looking, did you like open it up and take something?
Yeah, I did. And sometimes I'd just lick it and leave it there. Because fuck you. Don't tease me in my own home.
No, I can't say that I've ever stolen any leftovers from Mrs. Number One fan, but I've had the kids steal lots of my leftovers. Like I told the kids, like, we got done and we made, we cooked up a bunch of frozen pizzas, and there's like 4 or 5 slices left, and it's like, I'm going to bring those with me to work tomorrow, so don't eat them. I'll get up the next day and they're fucking gone. Because after we eat dinner and, like, I'm doing whatever, the kids will come upstairs like, oh, I want a snack, and they'll eat the fucking pizza. So I'll get up the next morning and go get a slice of pizza to bring with me to work, and it's just gone. I know, it pisses me off.
Yeah, I've always been a food thief. We've addressed this on both shows, that I have a problem with food.
Sweets, particularly.
But yes, sweets and me are like any addict you've ever known and their drug of choice. Basically, I'm addicted to sugar like most junkies are to heroin.
I have to ask myself if I'm addicted to pop like you are addicted to sweets, because
it's sugar. It's just it releases the dopamine in your brain that makes you feel so good. That's why when you eat certain foods, you're like, it's like fucking orgasmic. They call it comfort food for a reason, or eating your feelings for a reason, and that's why it's unhealthy. Because then you get shitty food that is going to make you happy when you're down, and then you associate, I feel shitty, I should eat shitty food, and then I'll feel better. And then you realize it, and you're like, I just feel shitty.
I don't know. I just really like the flavor of pop, and I don't like milk, and juice is fine. I only like to drink juice with breakfast, so that's helping. I've lost 3 pounds.
Oh, good for you.
I'm happy.
I believe I've gained weight the last few weeks because I've been eating so much candy.
Yeah, you're fucking wolfing down to candy.
So I weighed myself a couple weeks ago just because I had avoided the scale because I didn't like how my pants fit. And I kind of had to...
That's what happened to me.
I had to shock myself. I'm like, all right, let's get on that fucking thing and hope to Christ it's south of 220 because holy Christ, if I'm that big, that's the biggest I've ever been by a lot. So you're how tall?
I'm 5'6". Is
that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. And how much do you weigh?
238.
238.
I'm a fat little fuck.
Okay, I wouldn't say you're a fat little fuck, but
my coworker said.
I am about 5'11", and I currently weigh in around 215.
I hate you.
And a lot of that is midsection belly weight from all the months of working at home. And then, like my friend Rick James, Ricky's like 5'8", 5'9", and he's lost like 40 pounds. And I'm like, you son of a bitch, you weigh less than I do now.
I hate him.
But he doesn't have any kids, so he's not, like, they went to sleep. I'm going to steal a fucking chicken nugget. Or I'll wait for my 3-year-old to not finish her Culver's. Be like, are you going to eat your Culver's? Like, no, Dad, I don't want it. You have it. I'm like, yes!
I can't eat the kids' leftover food.
Well,
once they've touched it, I don't want it.
That's part of the problem, is you're not a glutton like I am.
Would that be a problem, or would that be like a good thing for me? Because
I'm owning it, is what I'm doing.
Okay, all right.
I'm wearing it like a badge.
Don't say honor.
Of courage.
Courage, okay.
Or more or less a scarlet letter.
Ooh, yeah.
With an letter. F for fatty. Interact with the show on Twitter at What Do We Call It? That is at What Do We Call It? You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/group/What Do We Call It podcast show. For the What Do We Call It podcast, I'm Jmann.
And I'm number one fan Tim.
And that's the end.